As the industry landscape changed, so did NDC leadership, as a new Carlos generation was taking over, with Al Davis as senior executive and Chris's sons, Andrew, Michael, and George, running the business alongside him. But it was Mike Carlos and Al Davis that would become the face of NDC. Meanwhile, Magnolia Marketing was expanding its operations, first into Mississippi in 1970, followed by an acquisition of United Beverage in the early 90s that brought the company into Arizona.
In 1991, we acquired United Beverage in Arizona, and at that same time, Seagram asked us to be statewide in Florida. But to be statewide in Florida, you would have had to have bought out Tampa and Miami. And Seagram approved us in doing that, but in order to do that, we also had to get other lines.
A task that would not be accomplished. Though unable to achieve statewide distribution, Goldring still maintained its presence in Pensacola, preserving a history that dated back to 1898. By 1990, NDC's purchase of Lita would expand the Colorado business they began 10 years prior when they acquired Best Brands. Momentum ensued as the company entered New Mexico the following year and South Carolina in 1993.
Mike and Al felt like we ought to be in South Carolina, where we couldn't acquire anything in South Carolina, so John was given the charge to go to South Carolina and start a business from scratch. Get a license, find a warehouse, no brands, go to work.
I convinced Mike that, we could open a fine wine distributor anywhere in the country. Yeah, I told him it could work. And so he gave me a budget, and I went to work on it. Hired 6 salesmen and a manager with nothing to sell.
The South Carolina venture would turn out to be a tremendous success, but NDC didn't stop there. It would continue to grow and acquire businesses, entering Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Ohio, and then becoming statewide in Virginia and Colorado. NDC was not alone in the growth and consolidation game. A partnership between Block and Goldring was imminent.
Consolidation at all levels, all tiers of our industry had begun and really begun in earnest. And we could see, it all began like in 1987, and we could see that it was a trend that was not going to go away. So we had to make a decision as to whether or not we wanted to try to tough it out on our own and probably get eaten by somebody bigger, or else expand and remain in the industry, which is what we wanted to do. So there was a distributor in Houston and Dallas, a Seagram distributor, Tarrant, that got themselves in some difficulties with Seagram. A good friend of ours, who was Bill Goldring, the Goldring family from New Orleans, who was very acquisitive, decided that this was an opportunity. So we were given the opportunity to buy part of Tarrant in Houston and Dallas. And if they weren't able to make certain metrics down the road, then we would have the opportunity to buy the rest of the company. And that's when it all started. We bought Tarrant, turned out in August, I think, of 1996. Then we went on an acquisition binge.
Soon after the Tarrant acquisition, the Block and Goldring families acquired the Julius Sheps Company in Houston and Dallas and formed Republic Beverage Company. By the turn of the century, Republic Beverage had become statewide in Texas and looked to expand beyond its borders. They soon purchased an interest in an Oklahoma brokerage operation. With all companies now named Republic Beverage, the company strengthened its national presence through the acquisitions of Commonwealth and then Horizon Beverage in Kentucky, Congress in North Dakota, and Sodak in South Dakota. In 2006, the landscape would change again. National Distributing Company and Republic Beverage Company would announce their intent to merge, making them the second largest wholesaler in the United States.
Well, you know, there's an old saying, you either grow or go.